Let's get creative with AI. Here, I'm going to show you how to go from idea to image and then video and animation in no time. I'm going to show you two different ways to do it. One of them is completely free. And the most important thing in this entire video is the process that I'm going to show you. So how to lay out all the steps and connect them together so that it's easy to do this and easy to tweak and maintain and update the process in the future. By the end of this video, I'm certain you'll be able to make some really cool things. Now, let's get started. Come on. For the first part of the tutorial, we are going to be working within Google Flow, which is how we use Google Veo. It's a little confusing, but let me first show you how to even find this. Go to Google and search Google Flow. Now, the very top result as of today is, I believe, the correct result, but who knows? It might not be tomorrow because this is a sponsored section, sponsored results section, and Google changes all the time. So let's scroll down here and make sure we see Google Labs. It'll look like a labs.google, and that's going to be the correct one. This is sort of an AI editing studio that Google allows us to use for free with limited credits to make images and videos. Once you're here, click Create with Flow, and that will send you to a page to log into a Google account. Once you do that, you'll be taken to the dashboard, which is a little sparse looking at first. Now, one thing to note is that each account will have so many free credits per month, per day, per week. In one account, I get, I think, 50 credits per day, another account 110 per day, and another account 100 per month. And that's the one I pay for. So my point is, it changes all the time, but right now it's free. Here we can see 3 projects that I have already worked on in preparation for this video. And if you go up here to your profile, click that little button, and it's going to give you a bunch of information, including how many credits you have left. But what we want to do right now is go to a new project. Over here at teachexcel.com, we are working on a new tool that'll fix your macros with a single click of a button. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. You can put it in the comments below here or contact me directly via teachexcel.com. Now, you can do a lot of cool stuff with Google Flow. All we're gonna do here is make an image and animate it. And if you go down here to this button where it says Video X1, we get a bunch of options. We can create an image or a video. What we want to do first is make an image. So let's click that, then choose the aspect ratio. Do you want it to widescreen? Do you want it like social media, so 9:16, or something in between? For now, let's stick with a widescreen. And then how many variations do you want? Because remember, this is AI. So every time, even with the same prompt, it will generate something a little bit different. Here, let's just take the first iteration, then go down here and choose the image model. We have Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2, and Imagen 4. For images, we are pretty good. Let's go Nano Banana 2. Click in here and describe what you would like for it to create. Now, prompting for this is different than prompting for ChatGPT, but let's keep it simple for now and just go create for me a mascot for an office productivity and Excel teaching website. And let's see what it comes up with. You can be as specific as you'd like. You can make really big prompts. You can put as much information in here as you need to. You can use another AI to create the prompt for this. That's a great little trick, by the way. I use it all the time, but let's see what Google gives us. It will take some time, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. And here we have this goofy little owl again. It reminds me of the terrifying language learning app Duolingo. When you aren't practicing, it pretty much comes after you. So if you'd like a specific mascot, definitely put that in the prompt. But now we have an image. So how do we get from the image to a video? We can download the image here or play around with it here, continue to edit and update it, but let's go and make a video out of it. So go back, and now we can go down here and change it from Nano Banana to a video. And once we are on video, we have slightly different settings, frames, and ingredients. Very interesting. I'm going to show you both examples here. Let's start with frames for this one. That means we can give it an image and say, hey, start with this image exactly as it is and animate it. Ingredient says, hey, I want you to use the character in this and do whatever I say in my prompt with the character. Slightly different, play around with it, and you'll understand how it works pretty quickly. So let's go for frames and choose if we want social media format, so your phone, or widescreen. Widescreen's fine. How many variations do we want? This does use credits, so notice 20 credits right here, then 40, and so on. So if you're going to use 4, it's going to eat up a lot of credits. And choose the model, light, fast, quality. Light on the credits. Quality, a lot of credits. This can actually get expensive very quickly. So light or fast is usually what I go for, and fast works pretty fine for me. 1 variation. Now let's go here and choose our starting frame. The image we generated is already there, but if you wanted to use another image, which we will do in just a moment, you could upload one from your computer right here. So a mascot for Excel website. What do we want to do? Usually animate this works pretty well, but you can say whatever you want. However, it won't allow you to do everything. So I tried to do a really cool movie scene earlier, and it just generically told me that it wasn't going to work. So let's stick with animate this for now and run it. This will take a while, so go do some work and then come back. I'm going to fast forward through it and save us some time. And here we go. We have a little owl, and he actually even talks. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it recorded.
Productivity mastery in action. As you can see from this spreadsheet, implementing these pivot strategies dramatically increases efficiency. That's productivity mastery in action. As you can see from this spreadsheet, implementing these...
I love this so much. As somebody who cannot draw or make a straight line with a pen to save my life, it allows me to be creative. It's just amazing. I love this so much. And what we could do here is now, what happens next? What do you want to do? Extend it, insert, remove, change the camera angles. You can do some really cool stuff here, which is a little bit beyond this tutorial, but I highly suggest that you play around with it. And we can download the video, of course. Once you have a paid subscription, you can get the 1080 or the 4K, but 720 looks pretty good. It's just the resolution of the video itself. But now let me show you how I actually do things. So I wanted to show you how to do everything here at first because it's pretty easy to get started doing this, but I don't actually like making my images here. Now we are in ChatGPT. I do a lot of stuff in ChatGPT, and I find it's a little bit easier and a little bit more intuitive to create images. And also, I've got all of my work saved here for all the other images I've generated and so many other things that I can use to add context if I want to. So let me paste in a prompt here, something a little bit more specific than we had in Google Flow. Create this image. A small, charming wizard character wearing green robes casting glowing Excel formulas like sum, XLOOKUP, and filter into the air, magical particles, clean vector illustration, high contrast, playful, and modern. Can you guess where I got this description from? ChatGPT. I used it, I had a conversation with it in order to figure out what I would like to generate, and then I said, hey, give me a prompt that will generate that. So here's the prompt. Well, let's see what it gives us. And here is our wizard. He looks a little bit like the first one right here, but AI always changes a few things every time. So now what we want to do is to download this image, click and save. Back to Google Flow, let's make a new project. And we can go straight to video. Let's go for ingredients this time. So we want the wizard in there, but the first frame does not have to be from the image that we supply. Well, let's keep it 16 by 9 times 1. All right. And click the plus right here. Upload an image. And for the prompt, let's make it a little bigger this time. Animate this cute wizard casting XL spells. And what Google Veo is actually going to do is learn from context. So it'll read this and understand what XL is. It'll look at your image, understand what's going on. It's pretty darn fun to play around with these days. And let's go ahead and generate the video. It'll take some time once again, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. Here we are. And the first thing to notice is that this video here doesn't begin from this image. If we can get to the start.
S-yum. X lookup. Filter. It's magic. S-yum. X lookup.
I don't know if you can hear the audio.
It's magic.
It kind of messed it up a little bit, but it's very funny. So since we used ingredients, what I was trying to say is that this first frame is not the first frame of the image. Whereas when we use the other option, so go back, frames, the first frame was the image that we supplied. So that's how I take an idea, turn it into an image, and then animate the image. One thing I want to clarify is why I create the image first and then turn that into a video instead of just making a prompt for the video itself. And the reason for that is because it's a lot easier and a lot faster to get the scene that you want before you create a video. So let's say when you're talking with ChatGPT or inside the Nano Banana via Google Flow, you can say, I'd like to have an image of X, Y, and Z. A lizard skating across a frozen lake. And then you can get that image. You can say, hey, I don't like the background. Could you make it at night? Could you put a big photo or a big image of the moon there? And I'd like a bunch of stars and I'd like that constellation. Then we'll update the image and put that in there. You can see how you like it. Lizard, give him a bigger tail. And it'll give him a bigger tail. So you can tweak and edit and update that image really quickly, get it looking exactly how you want it to look, and then pop it into video or turn it into video. If you try to do all of that with video, so just updating your prompt each time to change how the video looks, A, it's going to cost a lot. B, it's going to take a long time. And C, well, it's just not going to work as well as the image editing. For instance, for images, you can even say, hey, I'd like you to add another character, another creature, maybe a little mouse on some ice skates. So it's very easy to control what you want, how you'd like it to look as an image, and then turn it into a video. It just makes the process a lot easier, a lot less expensive. Now there's one last thing that I do want to cover. We've got this image here, but maybe I want to put the video that I create from it into another video, and I want to remove the background. The reliable way to do that is to make it like a green screen effect. So instead of having a white background that we remove, which then also removes his beard and causes all sorts of issues, what we can do is to say, make the background a green screen so that I can easily remove it in editing software later. So I give it the context that editing software is going to be involved. In case that'll give us a different shade of green. We actually don't have to fix the spelling, but that's okay. And now when I run it, it'll give us a background that'll be easier to remove. This actually does have a bunch of green in it. So I don't know if that's going to work. We might want to make it a different color, maybe a red or something like that. But when I do this normally in my day-to-day work or weekly, it's not with a wizard who is wearing a bunch of green. So as long as the color here is completely different than all the other colors that we are using, it'll work well. And then we just put it into Google Veo like we already did, animate it as we wish to animate it. Then when we bring it into our editing software, we can easily use chroma or background removal, whatever you want to use. Canva can do it as well. We can remove the background here, and then we can place this little creature in whatever scene we would like to place him. So we can overlay it into another video or an image. As you can see, there is so much that you can do with AI, and there are so many different ways to do it. So tell me, have you ever created an image or a video or set up a process to streamline that? I would love to hear about it in the comments below, so let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe, hit the bell icon, give us a like, a thumbs up, a comment, and a hype. I ask for those things because they help us grow. Oh, and don't forget to share it with someone that you think may also find this video helpful. So yes, those things help us grow, and that's why I ask for them. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and see you next time. Cheers.